Hey, everybody. Welcome back again to a little Austin Sports Weekend with Austin the man here himself. We are in a quiet time as far as all of our college sports go. We got some college baseball going on.
But outside of that, it's looking with the NBA playoffs underway.
We got the NBA playoffs underway. That's sort of the biggest thing going on right now. But so we're going to talk a little bit of everything, talk a little NBA, talk a little Tennessee. We always got to talk a little Tennessee sports. But before we get going, thanks again for SevereTV.com for setting us up here. Thanks again for Autographs Plus for sponsoring us. They got a couple stores, one at Sevierville, one at Pigeon Forge.
And I'm getting ready
Be
for
sure and check them
my
out.
my news bulletin.
Oh, you
hour.
got your news bulletin?
My,
Well,
not an hour, but a news bulletin.
a news bulletin.
Yep.
Oh, that's terrible. Let's talk some Tennessee first. Let's go and talk some Tennessee first. The college basketball is just ending, so we've still got some college. There's still a little bit of a
The season
splash for
has
college football.
concluded.
It has concluded, but there's still a little bit of stuff going on. We got the transfer portal going. Tennessee's had a few people to enter the transfer portal from them. DJ Jefferson, Dillion, there are two big guys, Adu and Awaka, have left. Plus, Tennessee had three people to graduate.
The roster looked a little bit broken down because of transfers and
Yeah.
graduation.
The good thing is we did pick up one really good transfer this weekend, and I love his name, Darlingstone Dubar. I love that name, Double D. I'm gonna be calling him Double D. He's Double D. He's a 6'8", 211 small forward. I've talked to some people, and he was actually interested in Tennessee whenever he first came out, but ended up not going here. So now that he's entered the portal
After 3 years at Hofstra,
at 3 years at Hofstra, I think he averaged 16.8 points a game and some change in rebounds and assists last year. And he shot over 60% from the field and right at 40% from 3 point. So he's actually a very productive player, which is what Tennessee needs. They need a good. We lost some scorers in this. We lost Connect.
lost Vescovi,
Vescovi
and lost Jordan James.
lost Jordan James. Lost a lot of senior talent there. So
And a lot of them at the guard spot.
a lot at the guard side. So now we do have Bishop Boswell coming in. He's a guard coming in out of Charlotte. He's a 4-star, 6'4", 195 coming out of high school to us. So there's a possibility. And we've always got the main man, Mr. Tennessee himself, Ziegler.
Zakai Ziegler will have to take on more of the burden
He's going to be a big shoulder burden for the basketball team
next season.
Now we do have another player that's looking to come to us. I think he's down between three people now, and he's visiting this weekend. Igor Milichik Jr. And he actually played in Charlotte. He just finished up his junior year, so he finished up his junior. He's a 6'10" forward.
So we have America's favorite sidekick to Dracula, my friends.
Yes, Igor. Hey, now, how good are the European named players doing right now in the NBA?
We got Jokic. We have Giannis. Jokic is coming off a championship, and his team's looking pretty. Doncic.
Out of the Dallas, so
Yeah, the European market is very hot.
very,
right now.
very, very hard now. He averaged 12.8 points and 8.5 rebounds in his junior season. Shot right at 38% on 3-pointers, and that would have been third on our team last year. So he's got some talent also, and I know we're looking at a couple more players. Belmont guard Cade Tyson, he's a 6'7". He averaged 16.2 points, 5.9 rebounds. He actually shot. His career is almost 45% from three. So some good shooters. We're recruiting the Ohio State guard Roddy Gale Jr. He's 6'4", 210.
I
Uh,
happen to know somebody who happened to, in my family who was affiliated with the Buckeyes.
oh yeah, but
Myself.
we've got friends and family that have went to so many different schools. It's pitiful.
And then just connections.
Just connections, man. Just connections. But anyways, Tennessee has some slots to fill. Really, seven. They got rid of seven. There's 3 people graduated, 4 transferred. Now there are rumors swirling around that Awaka may end up back at Tennessee, and I would open him with. I would welcome him with open arms. He was.
It looks like Adu
He was
is-
one of my favorite players.
It looks like Adu might be gone.
Yeah, he was shooting for the draft and/or the transfer portal at the same time. So I'm not sure exactly what he'll be doing. But
I've heard rumors that he might be not in a Tennessee uniform next year.
yeah, so Awaka's a good chance. Hopefully, it's not positive, but hopefully he'll come back because he was one of my favorite players. He would be great to have back on the team again. But still, if Awaka stays, we still lost 6. So we've got Boswell coming in as a freshman, Darlingston, Dubar coming in, transfer portal. So there's still 4 slots there that we could fill. So transfer portal, come on down. And we could also bring in another good freshman or something out there. But the transfer portal right now is so hot, it's really hard to
Keep up.
with everything that's going on out there.
Blazing.
It's blazing. So it's really hard to keep up with it. But picking up Darlingstone, I think, was a very very good pickup. On the football side, we did pick up another commitment today. A DB actually out of Alabama.
We're going onto a rival team's territory, aren't we?
We went on to a rival team's territory. Yeah, all right, it was Sidney Walton, a 3-star, on the verge of being a 4-star, but a 3-star safety, 6'1", 187, committed to Tennessee as of today, being Thursday, and he put out a video for it too. So he's really into it. We've had a couple of our recruits for coming in next year. I think Joachim Dodson turned. There's a few of them who have turned off their recruitment. They've seen enough out there that they decided, nah, Tennessee's where it's at. They're not even taking any visits anywhere else. So we seem to have a pretty solid class right now as far as football goes too. We're overall ranked number 15, but we've only got what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've only got eight commits right now. So we're going to end up with way more commits than that, and we're still and we're already in the top 20 with the ones that we got. Of course, with the top being the 5-star quarterback George McIntyre.
That also comes with culture. Culture helps breed recruits.
It is. We've got a 5-star quarterback now in Nico already there. We got another 4-star, which should have been a 5-star backup behind him, and we got another 5-star in George McIntyre, who is recruiting everybody for us. I think he's a bigger recruiter than anyway, he may not be the biggest of it, but he's a huge recruiter. He loves Tennessee, and he is talking to everybody. He is tweeting to everybody that might come to Tennessee and tell them. And I'm sure there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we don't even see too. So I'm anxious to see McIntyre here. He seems like he's Tennessee orange through and through. Football season, sadly, is 4 months off.
And the spring games have passed.
The spring games have passed.
And now we must wait.
And now we're in the 4-month holding pattern
And
until
now we got rumors, and we got like all this chitter chatter about who's gonna
and
be the
rumors.
best. Everyone's undefeated in the offseason.
Everybody's Tennessee is going into it with just the same amount of chance to win the national title. And now the good thing about this season is, how many teams are making the playoff?
12.
12 teams are making the playoff.
That's
this
3
year.
times as many.
3 times. Tennessee, I think, should end up. I think the town. Everything we've had through the spring game, the spring practices has sounded really positive. I even saw an interview with Thornton today, the transfer wide receiver, and they moved him to outside. And he said, that's my natural position. I love it. And he's clicking out there, too. We've got a stacked wide receiver room.
Now,
And I mean stacked.
I love hearing all of this, and I really
It-
want to see it play out on the field.
It's really got to play out on the field. The good thing about it is Heupel's already in his 4th year. Does it seem like it's been that long?
You never know unless you
years.
actually know time itself. I've actually got to know time itself. It really does fly.
It does fly. It does fly. But I think it's really positive, and I think if nothing else, I think we've got a 75% chance. We'll put it that 75% chance to actually make the playoffs this year. Because
And we'll definitely have better chances in the future, too,
Definitely, yeah.
because it expands furthermore to 14.
yeah. So I'm just excited for this year. I'm excited for basketball. We've made 2 Sweet 16s. I mean,
One
and-
Elite
and
Eight.
Elite 8 and a Sweet 16 the past couple of years. So that program's definitely trending up. We got a new ladies basketball coach.
That's
and-
coming in with some good fanfare, I've
and
heard.
she seems like she's a go-getter, humdinger. She's got a really fast-paced, high-flying offense and swarming defense. So she's going to be really exciting to see how she goes too. Our baseball team, just to talk a little bit about the Tennessee baseball team, they're ranked at number 4 in the country, and this weekend they've got a series with number 3, Kentucky. So that baseball series, Tennessee just swept
LSU,
the last year's national champion LSU.
even though they're not as good as they were last year.
No, and then they had a little game in the middle of the season. Buttermine kicked the crap out of them, 20-5.
I just feel at this point you just gotta wonder if they come in to just get their paychecks.
That was a warm up game, I think. Yeah, but yeah, they're now the games are in Kentucky, so it will be
On
it'll
enemy
be
ground.
It'll be on enemy ground, but this will definitely let us know. I think Tennessee has got a really fantastic team this year. Burke's knocking home runs like nothing. So it's really a fun year in baseball too. Got a top 4 baseball team, got a top 5 softball team. Ladies softball, they're doing great this year. I said women's basketball is definitely trending up. Basketball, men's, we finished the year number 5. Football, preseason, we're top 15, I think, in some polls, top 20 in some. So
We're coming off a shutout victory in the
coming out of
Citrus
shutout
Bowl all those months ago.
over Iowa. So really super time to be a Tennessee Vol fan. Now let's go ahead and hit a few highlights here of other stuff that we got going on.
It's time for
This week in sports. Oh, what you got?
Welcome to my news bulletin.
Yes, what you got going on your bulletin there?
First up on the bulletin, we have the
NBA
NBA playoff play-in games
The NBA
have concluded.
Yes, we had some play-in games, and I think they're weird how they do the play-in games, but
We had the play-in games, and then and then after that they play for the 7th or 8th seeds.
yeah, we've got. Let's see here. We have
The Lakers and the Pelicans.
The Lakers and the Pelicans played. For some reason, I can't get my scores to pull up. The Bulls just beat.
The Hawks, 131 to 116.
Yeah, so they move on.
And Trae Young is looking a little disappointed out there in Atlanta at the moment, from what
Yeah,
because they haven't really trended upwards. They've kind of just been buoying up and down like a buoy in the middle of the ocean.
yeah, and also a dynasty is at least on their downside right now. There will definitely be some changes there, I think.
When they bowed out, the Warriors bowed down to the Kings.
The Warriors
You see what I
bowed
did?
out
to the Kings.
Yes, they bowed down to the Kings. And we had one game that came down to a 1-point victory.
And that was the 76ers edging out the Heat, 105 to 104.
And a sad thing in that is the Heat
Lost their star player,
lost their son. Butler injured
his MCL joint.
his MCL, and they're saying that he is going to miss some games.
7 weeks, I think. That's a lot
So,
of time.
so they're going to be playing the next round
Without their best player.
without their best player, which is not going to go good for them. Here we go. We finally got them to pull up.
It's a very bizarrely set up
It is
playoff
It's a,
system.
but I don't know why they don't have number 7 play number 10 and number 8 play number 9, and that's the 2 games you have, and those go on to play. Seems
Rather
logical, but no, they've got to have 3 play-in games out of 4 teams. I don't know why in the world they do that. But we've got the Kings Pelicans playing, and the loser of that goes home.
And the winner moves on to play the 1 seed Thunder. The Thunder.
Yeah.
It's been a while since they've been in that position.
Yeah, the Lakers took the number 7 seed by beating the Pelicans, so now the Lakers take on their arch nemesis that swept them last year,
The Nuggets.
the Nuggets. I would take the Nuggets in that one too. They were tied with the Thunder for the best record, but the Thunder had one up on them in the season. So the Thunder got the 1 seed, Nuggets got the 2 seed. Nuggets could have been the 1 seed.
And the Timberwolves not too far behind on the 3.
No,
Which is, the Timberwolves have usually not been as good as other franchises, but recently they've been good.
they came on a little bit. They were actually only 1 game behind first place. Whenever you're playing throughout the season and you think, well, that's just 1 game loss, that ain't too bad. That kept you from 3rd place to 1st place, 1
Yep.
game. It's crazy. The Mavs and the Clippers, both of them have just about the same
Records.
record. But I'm a Mavs fan. I really like the way the Mavs finished the season playing really, really good basketball. So I think the Mavs might have that one. Over in the East, we
We
have
have the Celtics as the cream of the crop in the conference.
they're really the cream of the crop record wise in the entire league.
64 wins. You can't bark against 64 wins.
They're 7 games better than anybody. They're 7 games better than the Nuggets. 7 games better than the Thunder. They're 7 games better than everybody.
Let's see how they play in the playoffs. Usually these teams
the Celtics have underachieved
a little bit.
a little bit over the past 10 years or so. They're historically a super team, but we'll just have to see. Like I said,
it's weird seeing the playoffs in the East and not seeing Boston at all. It's gotten to that point because they're so consistently good.
yeah. I'll say the 76ers beat the Heat by 1 point, so they go on to play the Knicks. The Heat have to play the Bulls and without Butler, so I would say the Bulls would probably win that one.
How about the Celtics Bulls first round?
Celtics Bulls first
Classic.
round.
That's
Classic. We'll talk we'll talk a little bit more next week after some of the first round games get over with, but probably Nuggets, Timberwolves, Mavericks, Thunder on one side, Celtics,
Cavs,
Cavs,
Bucks, Knicks on the other.
and Knicks on the other side. That's probably who we've got in the first round there. What else you got on there on our breaking?
The news bulletin
News.
is Reed Shepherd has declared for the NBA draft.
Oh yeah, Reed Shepherd. I really thought he might stay with Kentucky and try to bring in the new team, and because he was
But the
playing.
NBA draft came a calling.
His stock
Rose.
and he got good reviews back from the draft gurus, and it's really hard to say no whenever they say, dude, you're going to make a lot of money if you go right now, because you could get injured, you could do anything, there's a lot of things that could happen between this season and next season. So his draft went up, so he went up.
Yep. And the Astros are severely struggling at the beginning of the season for the MLB side.
Yeah, what's their schedule? Well, what's their record now?
6-14 start.
Ooh, 6-14. That is a struggling start because they've been a really strong team
For years.
for years and years and years. So seeing them go down, that might be the beginning
Of a teardown, possibly.
That might be the beginning of it. Yeah. Speaking of Reed Shepherd going, we do have Mark Pope entering his first year.
At Kentucky.
That was a surprise. I really thought. Well, honestly, once I start dwelling, I'm not surprised that Baylor Baylor's coach didn't go because he's got high school kids. He's got a kid in Baylor. He's got a couple more high school kids that were going to Baylor. He's got a family there with older kids. They're settled in. They're settled down. I can understand why he didn't go to Kentucky.
I also appreciate the loyalty.
I appreciate the loyalty to
Baylor.
The loyalty to the school and his family for leaving them there. Mark Pope, though, an ex
Kentucky Wildcat himself,
who won the '96 championship
with the '96 team coached by old Rick Pitino.
Pitino. So he's coming in with some fanfare. He came in and they filled Rupp. The fans did. So he's getting some fanfare. He's getting some respect. So we'll just have to see how he does.
What does Pope do at Kentucky year one?
He might struggle a little bit year one because he's not going to have the players.
Because Calipari left the cupboard bare.
A lot of them have left to go with Cal. A lot of them have a lot of them have re-entered the system just to see what else is out there, and some of them have went on to the NBA. So
John Calipari left the cupboard bare at Kentucky while going to Arkansas. So Pope is going to have to pick up the slack.
He's going to
have to
pick up the slack. Yeah, he is going to have to. Yeah.
And the NCAA has allowed immediate eligibility for undergraduate transfers now.
Yeah, so they can just come right in and play. I don't see why you wouldn't. I mean, if you're going to let them transfer,
I'm surprised it took the dinosaur this long.
You can't say you can transfer, but no, you can't play. I mean, what? Why? Who? What? When? Why?
Yeah,
but yeah. It's finally they did that. Yeah.
And here is another a little story right here that was very interesting
for the NBA.
Jonte Porter, an unknown player from the Raptors, banned for life because of a gambling problem.
Because of gambling. That's the first person that I know that's been banned for life from gambling since Pete Rose from baseball.
And if you really want to go back, the 70s with Art Schlichter.
Yeah.
In the Colts. Yeah. In the NFL.
Yeah. So that's a pretty big thing,
and it's very uncommon.
It's really uncommon these days. On the same note, Shohei Ohtani is not getting in any trouble for that gambling situation. They're blaming it all on the translators, something that he skimmed like $10-11 million or something like that.
They're saying he conned Ohtani out of millions and millions of dollars behind his back.
And Ohtani didn't know any of the gambling was going on.
And they said he didn't have any clue that it was going on.
Yeah. Yep. And the last little thing we talk about, the NFL draft is coming up next weekend. Ooh, I'm excited a little bit about the
Number
NBA
one's
draft.
going to be obvious.
Yeah, we're able to shock. It'd be a shocker if Chicago didn't take Caleb Williams now. They've already got rid of Justin Fields. I mean, why would you get rid of Justin Fields if you weren't going to take Caleb Williams? So
that's obvious. It's like a poker hand. You show it, and everyone sees it. It's like Chicago dealt their hand. Here's Caleb Williams.
Right, they didn't wait till the end and trade him right before draft and anything. They just threw it right out there and said, "Here's what we're doing." So
at least they're trying to be at least they're being honest about what they're doing.
Yeah,
it's not like they're being. Trade him on draft day just because.
Yeah, and then there's a shocker. The Patriots said they're considering trading their pick.
Belichick's not even there anymore. You need a quarterback.
And they still might trade.
You need a quarterback.
The rumor is they like some of the quarterbacks out there, but they're open to trade.
What the heck will you get?
I don't know.
What kind of team is going to be a sucker to give you a bunch of picks for that third pick? You need a quarterback. Draft a quarterback.
The Giants are rumored, which is I don't think it's going to happen though, to trade up to get a quarterback. So that's
that Daniel Jones contract ain't looking so good, and Saquon Barkley just left. So, what would you do if you picked a quarterback there?
I don't know why they got rid of Saquon Barkley. I think that was a mistake, but. What do I know? I'm just a fan who watches every single game I possibly can for years.
To swallow information.
And swallow information so I can talk about it, but I don't know anything. Anything else you got on there for us?
The bulletin has concluded.
That is the end of the bulletin. That is the end of sports for us this week. I said there wasn't much going on, but there's still a lot of stuff to talk about. We hope you had a little fun with us. Thanks again for SevereTV.com for setting us up here in studio. Be sure and check in with us next week, and we'll cover some more of the NBA playoffs because they're going to be flying high next weekend. We'll have some round one stuff to talk about. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.